Yes, I was born in the valley way back in 1959. I'm a third generation farmer. I first went to University of Port Elizabeth, where I got my qualifications. I'm actually a scientist. I have my PhD in physics and also in the elderly in NISA. And after 1994, most of the companies closed down in South Africa, so I had two decisions: either go overseas, do research overseas in my field, or start up a business in South Africa. And an opportunity has arrived. One of my father's neighbor passed away, and his farm came on auction. And I bid on auction, and I bought the farm and started farming way back in 1994.
Amazing. That's amazing. Okay, and can you talk about what was happening in the valley in the period of the last 3 years and up to December 2018? What were your fears about what could happen to you, your family, your farm, and the economy of the valley?
Yeah. I think I'm going to take you back a little bit further.
No problem.
I mean, when on Wednesday last Thursday we had an Farmers Association meeting, and they gave us the stats here. Way back in 1980 we exported 2.5 million cartons out of the valley. And these days a single farmer is doing this. Our export estimates for this year is going to be about 10 times more than that. I think about 20, 23, maybe 25 million cartons. The social problems going with that way back in 1980, and now the infrastructure, the housing, the township didn't develop with the development of the citrus in the valley. And that causes a lot of problem housing, people coming in, seeking work, unemployment. So everything built up actually under our noses without us realizing it, and the people were getting uneasy. I think since 1994 the government made a lot of promises and created expectations from the people who on the ground, and those expectations is not met. And it's almost like we as citrus now must pay for it, or they want to use us to get to their destination or to achieve something. I think everything started in 2017. We had a bad navel year. All the fruit dropped. We exported 3 million navel cartons less compared to 2016. If you take that at least 100 rand a carton, that's a loss of income to the valley of 300 million rand. So the industry was already struggling, and in 2018 we had a strike for about 2 weeks. We couldn't get our fruit out of the pack houses, we couldn't export the fruit, we had a lot of waste, and we estimated that was again a loss of about 200 million rand. So it is 500 million rand within 2 years. And last year the minimum wage was introduced, and then they demand not the 18 rand an hour, they demanded 20 rand an hour. From 16.25 to 20 rand, that again add to another 1 rand to export carton, which cost our valley again another 20 million rand. So the industry actually is paying for all these expectations which was created. We had to get, we got in security companies to protect our pack houses, and they were then burning down sheds, farmer sheds in the pack house, luckily not pack houses. But it's a difficult environment to operate in. I mean, we're creating a lot of job opportunities for people in the valley. Myself in a pack house, about 170 people. On the farms, another 200 people. Tonight these people are going back home and they're getting intimidated there, and we don't know if you're going to pack tomorrow. We need to supply our importers overseas. So it actually created a lot of uneasiness and problems for us.
Sure. And what do you think your biggest fears were during that?
Just for first of all for your family.
Yeah.
I mean, they were driving down, up and down, and patrolling, and everybody was working. They were chasing them away and stuff. I don't know if I must say this, but I mean, they're very organized when it comes to these things and stuff. Sure. And I think it's part of the apartheid system that they've got their own townships and stuff. If they were integrated in the town, it was most difficult to get to them. But tonight they're waiting for them. If they try to get to work, tonight they're waiting for us. Tomorrow they won't come to work. And you sit here, food has been picked, it must be packed and stuff. So it's not a nice situation to be in.
No, for sure. And can you talk about what has happened since with reference to the work that's been done by Professor Pretorius and the task team that he has put together?
Now, obviously, we as farmers and producers and exporters is not educated to deal with these type of situations. I mean, the first thing we did is get the lawyers involved, get an interdict against them. But as I said to at one of the meetings, that interdict is only valid when you can attest it, whenever something again happened. And then you must say that then the pack house has been burned down or somebody has been killed and stuff. And then Honest de Waal, through his intervention with Dion Pretorius, I think he was involved with the Sunny River Citrus Company, their foundation work. He was involved there, and then Honest de Waal got him on board. So listen, we're in this situation, we're not educated to handle these type of situations. And he came in with a complete different view and said, listen, this is the way to deal with it. Let's give him a chance, and since then he did excellent work for us.
Yeah, that's amazing. And what do you think about the fact that community labour leaders have put their weight behind this initiative? Does it give you more confidence in the community labour leaders?
Yeah, definitely. I think Professor Pretorius is in the process now of basically educating them what is actually their role in the community. And I always refer to Honest de Waal. I mean, in a heyday it was only the SRCC which was the biggest pack house in the valley, and everybody sent the fruit to the citrus co-op then, and it was only 1 or 2 private pack houses. These days there are, I think, about 16 private pack houses and still the SRCC. So the emphasis has shifted, and I think to empower the community leaders to become businessmen, to become part of the economy. Through the pack houses which was built in the valley, we've created a lot of job opportunity, and we've, as Professor Pretorius said, we've built a lot of wealth in the community in the valley. And these people were almost like sidelined. They weren't part of this wealth which was created. Although they were employed and stuff, obviously some of them have intentions to do a little bit better and so forth. And I think Professor Pretorius is now in a process to educate these people. What are their role in the community? Are you a community leader? Or are you a businessman? Or are you a political party? Or are you a union? What is your job? And I think it's for them to buy in and to become part of the economy in the valley.
Yeah. So because of all of this, does it give you more confidence for the future of the valley? And
Definitely. I think President Ramaphosa last night also referred to the local economy. We need to kickstart the local economy, and we can only do that through generating new businesses and employment and stuff, and empower people. We can't just sit back and wait for the government to do something. That's not going to happen. We'll have to do it. We're in the same boat in this valley, in this region, and we'll have to make it work.
Yeah.
And if these people realize it's not just for taking money from one and give it to the other party, that's not going to work. Empower them and show them how to run a business, and they can employ people, and that's the way to go.
Well, I suppose you kind of answered this question then, but in your thoughts about the idea of a development agency for the valley, I suppose you've kind of answered that, but yeah, what are any other thoughts on the development agency for the valley?
Yeah, it is just to give these people opportunities. Unfortunately, the citrus season is seasonal. It's from March till September, and then from October till March, then it's almost like no production, no exports and stuff. So we need to create businesses or something which can be a 12 months and to employ these people and to help them.
But also perhaps, so we're talking about expanding the economy.
Yeah.
What are your views on the potential for expanding the economy? This is a citrus-based economy. It's got the seasonality. What are the other possibilities? What the potential that are not being utilized? Have you got thoughts on that? How do we pull people into an economy, diversification, or adding people into the citrus economy? What do you think is the most appropriate strategy to do that?
We've already started with BEE farms, where there's joint ventures with them, but then it's not for the whole community, it's only your farm work, your permanent workers on the farm, or people belong to a certain pack house and stuff which being empowered. A lot of the pack house business we source from outside Kirk, the Sunny River Valleys, coming from Utenik, Dispatch, Port Elizabeth, Imanang, Kloof. I'm buying pallets now from Boxback, getting it there. Those pallets can be manufactured inside the valley here for 12 months. I can put in my order for them, they can happily go along, manufacture pallets, pack houses, put in their order, and as I said, they can manufacture those pallets over 12 months and keep them busy. That is only one example.
Yeah, and there are multiple examples like
There's
that.
multiple examples.
Yeah.
That's a good example. That's a good first.
And if I can just follow up on that, if there are, in terms of creating such new opportunities for people in the local economy, they start off from being relatively inexperienced, and so you might not get the same quality of service that you may be getting from other service providers elsewhere. Would you be willing to assist, make sure that they lift their standard and their quality, and give them some time to settle into becoming an effective and successful business? You understand my question, that there may be a transition period in which one might be tempted to say, no, what they're giving me is not of good quality, so I'll go back to my previous service provider.
Yeah,
That'll defeat the whole object.
Yeah, no, I think we must realize that obviously there's going to be a transition period. It's not going to happen overnight, and we must be able with that.
Yeah.
I mean, the pallets we're receiving from 10, 15 different suppliers, everything is different standards and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a big issue to train them properly how to build, just for example, to build pallets.
Okay, and specifically, what do you think of the idea of bringing people from all sections of the valley together to share their perspectives and work together to solve problems and utilize opportunities?
As I said before, we in this together in this valley, on this ship, and we need to make it work. And if everybody can just buy in and with the work Professor Pretoria is doing, educate them and tell them that they must become part of the economy, either through creating their own businesses or to at least be productive. Work 5 days a week. Don't work three days a week. Get a lot of our workers, seasonal workers, on a Monday don't rock up for work. Friday, when it is social ground day, they don't rock up for work. So we need to educate these people to look after their family and to become part of the economy in this valley.
Okay, yeah, and then again, I think you've answered this, but do you have more hope for the future of the valley than a year ago?
Definitely, if we can just take out the strike factor, the uncertainty. I mean, we've now been busy about 2-3 years, and the last year was for 2 years, and we've never expected what is happening in Port Elizabeth now. There's now a go-slow at the harbour. We can't get the containers in and containers out. So that just adds another dimension to the problems and the difficulties of the complexity of the citrus industry. I mean, we compete against countries like Egypt. I mean, there's one producer, I think it's all green, green fruit. He exports 12.5 million cartons on his own. And he's slamming bang direct competition to us, and he's next to the European countries, next to the Middle East countries. He's producing fruit at half the cost we're doing it. So the citrus industry is actually in big trouble, and we need to get these people on board for us to survive and for the future generations in the valley.
Okay.
What is your biggest challenge in terms of increasing productivity?
Is basically to educate the people, skills. I think the biggest mistake government made way back in 1994 was to close down all these colleges. Technical colleges were closed down, teachers' colleges like in Oudtshoorn and Grafrenet and Port Elizabeth, just 3 in this vicinity, they closed it down because everybody must go to university. If you take packhouse manager, line managers, everybody, export managers in a packhouse, that is in-house training. There is no college or place to set them, listen, train this guy to be a packhouse manager for me. Everything is in-house training.
So we are probably looking at schools, more vocationally orientated schools, and colleges, more vocationally orientated, and particularly catering for the kind of skills that are required in the agricultural sector.
Especially the citrus industry in the valley.
Okay, well, yeah, I think that's, I mean, how much does Hennie know also about FORUS? Should we quickly talk about FORUS and the kind of...
We could do that, but I want to throw in, and we can edit in or out if we want to, but I want to throw a curveball at Hennie. The whole issue with regards to immigrant workers. Why is that a problem, and how do you think should it be handled? We can edit out if it becomes too sensitive.
No, I think about 10 years ago, even longer than that, there were seasonal workers. Either they were working in the citrus industry, and then from October they go to Langkloof for the apple and the grapes in the Western Cape, and then they came back on in March, April to be in this our area again. Nowadays, these guys are staying here. There's such an influx of people into the country. So there's sufficient people in the Western Cape to take up the work there, and there's more than sufficient people in the Eastern Cape to take up the work. And that is creating the problem. These people are no longer going back to Zimbabwe. I'm telling you, they save a lot of money, and all those money they just send back. Whereas our local people don't know the word what is save. They don't save. They just waste all the money they're earning per week and stuff. So that has created a big problem, because they see the citrus industry as successful, and as I said earlier, we expand from 2.5 million cartons to now over 20 million cartons. So we need these people, and the local people is not enough to do the work. So obviously people from outside is coming in and they're staying here, and that causes all these social economic problems in the valley.
And these people that come in are also, generally your experience, are they productive workers?
Very productive. Very productive. Very productive, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think, just FORUS, have you heard about FORUS and the work that you're doing specifically with FORUS, teaming up in order to kind of make this all happen?
I don't think much.
No.
I think what Hennie's aware of is what I said in your meeting that I spoke to a few weeks ago, where I referred to the fact that FORUS is a local organisation that's ready and supportive of the work that we are going to do. We haven't really introduced FORUS.
No, that's perfect. It was just to give a little background and just what.
But if you want to say anything about it.
No, fine.
Yeah. you said.
Anything else?
No, really. I think the immigration is a big problem. I don't know how we can solve that. I mean, our borders are open, everybody's just coming in. So, and we, as I said, we must employ them because we need pickers. Luckily, in the pack house, 99% local people. Local people who want to work in pack house no longer want to work on the farms. So that again also creates problems.
But if more investment in skills could be done as far as local workers are concerned, and perhaps some change in approach to work and so on, then local workers may become more competitive. At the moment, what you are saying is it seems as if the non-local workers are more competitive because they're more productive.
They're more, but I think part of the problem is social grant funding they get. I mean, for the past 3-4 years, they said, listen, this funds are going to dry up. Government, this is not sustainable. Come 2020-21, what do you do with this massive funds being paid for social funding, grant funding, and if you take 2 or 3 or 4 in one household getting those grants, why must they work? They're getting 5,000 rand a month. They can sit down. Why must we work? Yeah.
Dependent on government.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's
So
it.
yeah.
Great.
Thanks, Hennie.
Yeah, thanks,
Thanks so much. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
It was lovely.
Very well said.
Yeah, I really think I wanted to throw in that issue of immigrant workers because this is a major issue. It's not going to go away.
No.
And the farmer's perspective on that, I think, is an important one. I mean, these workers are productive workers.
Yeah.
And if local workers are not going to, step up to the plate and to become more productive and more disciplined, their jobs will be taken.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say this, but I mean, drive through Kirkwood, just from the main road, or even go to the townships and stuff. Is there local guys, people having businesses? No, it is guys from Bangladesh, from all the world, Zimbabwe, Somalia. They are in the business and they came here with nothing. And they have the business skills. And how do you transfer these business skills to the local people?
This is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
We actually we have now identified just in our immediate task. Our task team is going to 27 people now, Theo. Out of that, in a session that we had, where we brought in business development experts, we had a group of 20 people or so, and just spontaneously, I
started with 4.
Yes, they stepped forward and said, "Here I am. This is my business idea." And what was striking to me was then they were not prompted, they were not prepared. They just stepped up and said, and when they presented their ideas, it was actually very well presented, thoughtful, and workable. The way that they presented their ideas were, I've had these ideas for a long time. I've dreamt about this, but I've never had the opportunity to pursue this. Now there's an opportunity for support. There's a possibility for startup capital. Now I've got an opportunity to start talking about that.
Yeah.
So there are many people out there in the townships, I believe, that are inclined, could be capable of becoming entrepreneurs. The environment has just not been supportive enough.
Yeah, I think what one should realize is you build up a culture over time.
Yes.
But you break it down overnight. And to change the culture, we really quickly do it. But we need to, as I said, it's going to take at least 5 years to build up and change the culture and listen, get to work. And take Malawi, for instance. There's no social grant funding. If you don't work, you die. They're not going to give you free meals and food and stuff. You must work, otherwise you die.
It's just that different.
We're working on
Change
it.
the mindset.
Yeah.